Ian, thank you very much. Also for the lecture, also for sponsoring this. OneTrust is one of the important companies talking about privacy and trust. They're also CSA members and they support a lot the community. So thank you for your stand. As you all know, Israel is famous for their innovation, right? We have a lot of startups here, and in the last couple of years, the dream for every Jewish mother became not being a doctor, not being a lawyer, but build your own cyber startup and then sell it for millions of dollars. So I'd like to present our next guest because he made this Israeli dream come true. A couple of years ago, Ofer, he's here. Oh, you're here. He started his company. I was there, I think, in one of the first meetings. They were talking about concepts, and they talk about this technology, SDP, software-defined perimeter, and this was like just starting to roll in, and they had some ideas, and I think 2 or 3 years later, Ofer sold his company to Symantec for 250 million, and he's here to talk to us about this journey, how do his tips for this, and please welcome him. Thank you.
I will use this one. Hi. How many entrepreneurs do we have here? Entrepreneurs. Few. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about technology. I will share our journey. It was based on SDP, which coined by Cloud Security Alliances, software-defined perimeter. There is other names like Zero Trust and Beyond Corp technologies today, but the first basic idea was based on CSA research, and we joined it back in November 2016. And we built it as a cloud service. We changed it a bit, and I will share my wisdom as I see it as a CEO, not as an engineer who built the product. And if you have any question, just raise your hands. So I'm Ofer. I came from 2 startups. One of them is Adalom, which acquired by Microsoft in late 2015. And after that, I joined another startup on the cloud security area, which called Firelayers, which got acquired by Proofpoint. Before that, I was a CISO for many years. Worked at Bank Leumi for like 9 years, I think. What I learned when I was a CISO is that a real solution needs to solve a real problem. So I joined 2 great engineers coming from Checkpoint. I will share our first pitch deck when we raised our seed round. So there are Leonid and Eldad. They both came from Checkpoint and cyber units in the 2200s known unit. And what we tried to do back then is to get rid of appliances and application gateways and firewalls and VPNs and build a robust cloud service on AWS that will serve the next era of using applications hosted in YAST mainly. As you can see, after 18 months, this is our pitch deck back in mid-2018. We invest a lot in branding and understand the customer needs. And I will show a bit how it works. So basically what we solve is today, you know that the perimeter is dead. Back then, no one talks about it, like 2.5 years ago. And we thought that we should not trust anyone like firewalls and VPNs. They are not working well with the new environments. And we build it different. as a distributed connectors based on application proxies that can deliver any application to any kind of device, agentless, and it's all coming through our broker. We are based mainly in AWS, but we have some data centers in Azure as well. This is our timeline. We founded the company on January 2017. We got funded really quick, like after a month. Actually, when we discussed this idea, it was in Tel Aviv University at Startau. I don't think it exists right now. So actually, we sat together, three founders, and try to validate the idea and understand how many customers will move to innovative architecture that actually changed the way that enterprises are working. And we did it for like 2 months. We met lots of people. There are some here as well. And once we got the notion that we got like 50 potential customers around the world that told us that if we will have this kind of architecture working and ready, they will buy the solution. So we had the deck that I showed you 2 slides before, and we went to like 6 or 7 investors. We got like 4 term sheets. After 2 weeks, we go with Aleph, which is a known Israeli investors with great partners. So we got funded really quick. We didn't have like one line code in our platform before that, and with all the difficulties with gaining engineers into the team, we we succeed in building our platform in less than 6 months to like kind of MVP, and we got our first paying customer, which was an Israeli, a design partner that worked great with us. Really fast, after like 3 months, we got our first big client, fintech UK company, traded company that use our platform for all of their employees. And as you can see, all of these milestones were planned ahead, and actually every week we measure if we are where we plan to be or not. Okay, and we build our platform to be certified from day one with SOC, with ISO, with HIPAA, with PCI, because we understand that a potential client that will want to use a startup, especially if all the traffic is going through these startup servers, he wants some credibility and understand that you can deliver what you promise, and you are fully secured. We chose the right partners, mainly AWS and Microsoft. They helped us to gain more customers, and actually, I think that Microsoft brought us like at least 5 Fortune 200 companies as a client and support us. The same for AWS. We got certified, and that helped us because we used it online, and any customer that we visit first try to understand who we are and what we are staying for. And if you are like SOC 2 compliant after 1 year, and you are a cool vendor of Gartner, and you have 5 customers, that means that you are on a good way, and he will try you out. So actually, our first Fortune 200 customer is insurance company, big one, and they are still using our platform. Actually, they increase their usage these days. And anybody have questions on that? Yeah? It's fast, yeah. Yeah. So not everything is working like that always. Yeah. So we worked very hard to do it. It looks very smooth, but it's not that way always. I think that I have like a few tips that I can share with you on what I was focusing as a CEO in building this company. So on the validation side, you should really validate your idea before you are beginning to develop your platform. Okay. I know startup that are building technology and then they are going to the customer and he don't want it. And then they are changing their technology in order to support the customer needs. And that's actually sometimes happens when you are working with like a small Israeli company as a design partner, and then you're going to the US and you're going to Fortune companies, and their understanding and the way of work is totally different. And that happens to lots of companies. So I think that the validation should be with your primary market. Like if you're working in the US and you're selling enterprise software, security, you should talk with US-based companies and not work with like the GDPR and stuff are not valid yet in the US. If it's like a US company that have branches in Europe, so they will invest a lot in GDPR, but if you're doing GDPR, work in Europe, don't validate your idea in the US, and that's what we did actually, because when you're developing a cloud platform, it's very different if you're working in Europe. Like in France, they want your data center to be in their environments, and we are based in AWS in Ireland and US. That's it. Today we have like an APAC one, but we are not deploying our platform in any data center, and actually we cannot invest. The cost is very big in order to gain customers in every continent that have some privacy issues. I think that on the validation stage, you should really invest your competition, because as long as you are moving this journey, the competition that you are finding that you are not aware of, and that's not good actually, because you don't have any battle cards, and you cannot justify your platform in front of them and in front of customers. And actually, we had a couple of good competition, which one of them is a great one, Zscaler. I'm sure that you are all aware of. So they went out with Zscaler Private Access just 2 months before we built our platform, and that was very good because the market education is enormous, with Zscaler, and we are doing it better. So yeah, so it actually does. So when you know your competition, you can actually build something that is better and different, and because if you build it the same, you will not have any value proposition that you can offer to your customers, and that way you will probably lose. I don't believe in building something in the garage. I think that's a good validate idea which good founders should get funded. There are lots of money on the table or on the floor. You should actually it's the same because there are lots of startups are in the air right now, and I think it's I can't say easy to get funded, but if you'll do the steps right and validate your idea and will approach to a big massive market with a good plans, I think you can get funded. I don't think that you can do it without it. I think you should always stay in fundraising mode, which means that you should be very organized from the financial and legal aspects with the option plans and everything, because actually we got funded after 2 weeks by Aleph, and just after 10 months we got funded by USCP. We raised here $3 million, and here it's more. It's $11 million more, and actually we spent only $1 million by then. So we didn't need the money, but we had a good opportunity to get funded from a top-tier VC that really wants to get into this market. So the reason that we do it in like 3 weeks funding round was because we were like very organized, and the due diligence was very easy. Don't get too high on the valuation, because I know startups that raise a lot of money, they lose lots of equity, and it's funny, but when you are raising $11 million on $40 million valuation, after 6 months you need to be value this much, and if you are not, you will have like a down round. And when things are working smoothly, it's okay, but when it's not, it's a big risk, and I know founders that actually lose their company for that. Investor can take advantage of that. Even if there is not like a real reason to do it, don't fall this to this whole customer. So I worked very hard with customers, and I think that's what CEO needs to do. So there are like design partners and there are customers. Design partner is someone that you are working in his environment in order to understand that your technology is working. Your features and your platform needs to work with a real paying customer that will work with you and be a reference to your investor, to your next customers, etc. I know that many people have design partners as startups, like 100 employees in Israel. It's not a real reference customer. It makes no impression on any investor or customer in your prime location. Like if you're working in Israel, that's okay. But if you're working in the States, it will not work. Get cool and get trusted. So as I mentioned before, we invest a lot in certifications. From day one, actually, we worked really close with Gartner and Forrester and other analysts. We got cool vendor after 1 year, and that make lots of noise. And actually, when Symantec approached us, it was partly because of that, because you are seeing like a startup that's running really fast, and you want to understand why he do it. And when you get a recognition like that, that's something that will make them understand that something good is cooking. It's not the reason why someone will buy you, but it's something that help. We build our reference network with the insurance industry and with the tech industry. We invest a lot in it. Every customer we approach, we had like references that they can talk with and understand why they are using Luminate. So that helps us a lot to gain customers really quick. So this is a sentence that I got from someone when I worked at KPMG, actually. So I think that when you are building a company, you need to have a good methodology because it's all about it. You can build a technology that no one will use, no one will want, and you will not have any strategy how to sell it. Okay, so everyone wants to build big companies and doing IPO, but guess what? Sometimes it's not happened, and you need to make your maximum in order to get something for hard work. So actually, we understand that we are not like a real threat, but we are aiming on massive markets. There are companies that stop using Cisco AnyConnect, which is like I think it's the most common VPN. So we have Fortune companies that stop using Cisco and stop using checkpoint firewalls and stop using other VPNs like Juniper and Microsoft and stuff. So you understand that you're taking a market share with innovative technology to a new era, which is the cloud, from big players, and you should have a good strategy to work with them. Sometimes people are afraid to share their deck and their idea with the big players. Believe me, they don't know to do anything that it's innovative enough to compete with you. Even if you think, go to Checkpoint or Symantec, try to grab 10 engineers to work on a new idea for 2 years, it will not work. It will not work, never. And if they will do it, they will do it in the wrong way. So when I mentioned Zscaler, so Zscaler was our competitor on the private access. They have two major products, which is the secure gateway and the application private access. So when we start talking with Symantec, we knew that Zscaler competes with Symantec on a massive market, which is the secure gateways, and we know that they want a new tool in order to compete with Zscaler. So when you know how much they want you can go actually to other potential acquirers like Cisco and others, and make them understand that a big player is in kind of sorry? Not for me. Okay. So when actually I can tell you that we met Symantec on like a big client called Eli Lilly, which is like Fortune companies, pharmaceutical. So they actually told us that they are using Symantec CASB, and if we will work with them, that can be great because they will have like one solution to access any kind of cloud applications, SaaS and hosted, yes, and that will solve a big problem for them. So they connect us with Symantec, and after 3 months, that happens. So you should have a strategy in place and always understand what you can do that will make the best for you, your founders, investors, and employees. So this is like a big word. When I'm working at Adalom, I work with a guy called Amir Haramati. He was a COO. He was like a big executioner. It's not something that sounds good, but yeah. But he actually built a massive infrastructure after getting out of stealth. I actually learned to do it before that. There are lots to do, like building your marketing automations, your sales, your brand, everything it needs to be out so you can gain leads and gain customers. It's not easy to get like 20, 30 customers after less than a year going out of stealth, but if you're building your infrastructure ahead and invest in that, you can get it. You should use recruiters. You should use anyone that can help you to gain the right talent in the right place. Another thing that I learned after 10 months when USAP joined us, I had a board member, his name is Jacques. So actually, I was very busy with doing lots of things, like with networking, events, running the product, and other stuff. And when I started to do that, everything changed. Because you cannot do anything good, like 50 things good, making sure that every employee is happy. It's important, but you should delegate and trust others to do it. You should, so I actually focus on fundraising and getting customers. That's it. Behind that, there are many things to do, like getting salespeople, work in different locations, like we worked in Boston, Chicago, and the West Coast. So there are lots of investments in each locations. So there are plenty things to do, but I think that the main thing that get us really fast into dozens of customers, of paying customers, and seven-figure deals was focusing on the right thing for a CEO. It's different for engineering and products. This is my 50 cents for this event. I think that the most important thing is to be a leader. It's respect of course, your customer. It's the basic, but working with your founders, employees, and investors are, the investor believes in you, and they are working with you. And if you work with them, you can achieve a lot. And actually, so that's the way I did it. If someone needs any help, I will be happy to assist.
Thank you, Ofer, for sharing this amazing journey with us. I don't think I heard too many entrepreneur stories. So we're looking forward for our next startup, which is amazing. And this is the time for me to remind that CSA has a startup membership. It's a new membership. It's designated for startups. The last company from Israel that joined this startup membership, PureSec, was just acquired 3 weeks ago by Palo Alto for a lot of money. So if you want to hear more details on the startup membership, come over to myself or Damir. And right now you have lunch outside the door waiting for you, and we'll see you in 1 hour with the continuous presentations. Thank you.